Hey, look what's back in the news again. Genetically modified food. By which, of course, I mean the controversy over genetically modified foods is back in the news. Man, this is one of those things that just pisses me off. See, genetically modified food controversy is one of those things about which otherwise very smart people tend to act not so smart. It's basically the dopey, paranoid, flat earth extremist version of the broader, much more agreeable natural food movement. People hear the words genetic engineering and they get all nervous because engineering makes them think of machines and genetic makes them think of scientists, and the two together make them think of, well, you know. Not me, though. I love genetically modified food. In fact, I'm eating some right now. Listen. That's some good genetic engineering right there. You hear that? Yeah, that was a carrot. A big, crisp, juicy orange carrot. Oh, I'm sorry. Were you not expecting that? What did you think I meant by genetically modified food? Ah, well, we have much to discuss. Okay, first, genetic engineering doesn't actually mean what most people imagine it means. Genetics refers to the science of how biological traits like, say, hair color are passed from one generation to another. Genetic engineering is the scientific discipline by which the breeding of animals or plants or whatever else is controlled in order to produce certain results. For example, when a sheep farmer decides to only let the sheep who make the best wool breed so he'll get woollier sheep, that farmer is engineering the genetics of his flock. Incidentally, this is where almost all modern versions of cultivated livestock and vegetation come from. It's also why dogs come in more flavors than wolf and much bigger wolf. If you've eaten, say, beef and it didn't come from an auroch, guess what? You've eaten genetically modified beef. In other words, it's not a new thing. In fact, it's one of the first things human beings learned how to do. But now, instead of always needing to be done by breeders through trial and error over hundreds of generations, we have the technology to do it in a laboratory by, and I'm simplifying here, going into the genetic code itself and switching traits on and off manually. Same basic idea, just much more efficient. But because it's done by guys in white coats instead of homey, reassuring ranchers, and as we all know, science is scary, now people are getting all weirded out by it and making up words like frankenfood. Actually, let's talk about that, too. People who want to run down science, usually biology, love to stick franken in front of words in order to communicate their paranoia to other people by invoking the popular culture's all-time favorite mad scientist. Here's the thing about that, though. In Mary Shelley's original book, Frankenstein isn't technically a doctor or even much of a scientist. He's a med school dropout, and his monster making has more in common with alchemy and the occult. When most people think Frankenstein, they're usually thinking of the movie from 1931, where he was a doctor. Do you remember what it was exactly that the mad doctor in the movie did that was so, well, mad? That's right, he brought dead things back to life by running electricity through them. Today, that happens all the damn time, every day in hospitals all over the world. You know what we call it? Defibrillation. You know what we call the mad doctors who do it? We call them heroes. Just, something to think about the next time you hear someone whining about frankenfood, frankenfuel, Al Franken, whatever. Anyway, back to my carrot. Oh, and your carrots, too. See, if you've ever eaten carrots, chances are they were orange, but they weren't always. Originally, wild carrots were purple. Other colors, including orange, were mutations. But in the 1500s, Dutch farmers started selectively breeding, aka genetically engineering, their carrot crops to produce more and then only the orange ones. Why? To honor the Dutch royal family of the time, the House of Orange. It caught on, and these days, original purple carrots are actually much harder to find. So there you go. Genetically modified food. I've eaten it all my life, you've eaten it all your life, let's all calm the hell down about it. After all, everybody knows that what we really need to worry about is the looming threat of cyborg food. I'm Bob, and that's the big picture.